that's the thing about them. I will say, like, whenever I get a script, it goes completely the opposite way of what I expected, and I feel like they're always throwing me off. So,
hi! Oh my God, you have bangs!
yes.
Did you look for another role?
No, it's just I got bored.
I can understand. You look so beautiful.
Oh my gosh, thank you. It's good to see you again. I had so much fun with that interview with you because I feel like your energy was just contagious. It was so fun doing that group interview.
Well, that's why I wanted to expand this and do this across like social media so that we could at least have a proper conversation. I mean, when we chatted, it was before the season, so we couldn't say any spoilers. And then secondly, I was sharing everybody, which was such a large cast. So
it is. It really is.
So that's why I was like, wait, let's do something fun for the fans and for me, obviously, since I'm such a big fan. This discuss the events of season 3. Now, crazy, right? So many things happen. I don't even know how many times I've rewatched it. I just finished, and when the Phil Collins I'm like, oh God.
I know they killed it with the soundtrack. I feel like and even when I've been reading some of the season 4 scripts, like their music taste is just, I love it.
Welcome to my era, girl.
What'd you say?
I said, welcome to my era.
I know.
Did all of you guys get to watch when they did the Dee Snider concert?
Oh yes. Oh, I snuck on a set that day. I wasn't supposed to be there, but I had to see him when he was there. I love that Billy just has all these rock star friends.
I wasn't
like, yeah, I know, and I'm like, I shouldn't be because he really is the coolest guy. So it shouldn't be that big of a surprise, but he has that kind of like rock star energy to him, I feel like.
Well, yeah, because I had no idea it was because of that friendship. We spoke to Sholo a day or two, no, maybe it was yesterday, and he was like, "Oh yeah, that's Billy's friend." And I said, "Oh my God, that's such a like Billy thing." Like I was like, "Oh, that doesn't surprise me."
I know.
Okay, so we have so much to unpack from season 3. I also want to invite all of the fans who have been awesome and have been around like every day to ask questions and kind of interject. I want to start off with, well, honestly, my personal question is I'm dying to know about this orange red lipstick that you were wearing. It's like I make an appointment to chat with Peyton List and I want to know what the lipstick was she was wearing.
Wait, what are you talking about? When?
You were, there was a scene where you were with, I think you were with Robby, but you also, when you were in the cool like skeleton outfit and you were like in an orange red lippy and it's so cute.
That is so funny. I wonder what brand that was. I know what you're talking about, and the our makeup artist on the show, it's like a tinted lip balm. Oh, I need to find out. I need to get your number, and I need to find out the brand. But it kind of reminds me of those like Clinique chubby sticks, or just like a lip. It was a tinted like orangey red lip balm.
I know that was the question, but now that we're talking about the outfit, I mean, for me,
I love that you paid attention to that.
I always do. I'm a big lipstick junkie. But while we're on the topic of the skeleton outfit that you guys wore, which is such a nod to the original, can you guys can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I'm so glad you picked up on that. Yeah, we had a fitting, and I remember them pulling out that zip up skeleton hoodie, and I was like, wow, this is just a little homage to, you know, Billy and his skeleton outfit in the original Karate Kid. And I feel like Tori's coming back, and she's kind of the, you know, the finale. I feel like it's just mirroring a lot of what's happened, and I feel like the writers do a really good job of, you know, putting those little Easter eggs for the fans, and there's really a lot you can dig into. And so I feel like him picking out that hoodie just was the perfect outfit for that scene. I felt so good wearing that hoodie. I loved it.
Did you feel it? That's something that I would take off the set.
Oh, I wanted to. I feel like they don't let me keep anything on this show.
No?
Which, on other shows, I definitely like have been able to take things and whatever else. But Cobra Kai, this next season, I really want to. I want to take home. Like, I love having just one piece, even that I can remember the character with, and that hoodie would be the piece for me. But you know what? I think it's from like H&M, so I should go see if it's still there because
really?
that.
I'm going to look up H&M too for myself. Now, I want to talk about Tory and Robby, because when she first goes to visit him, I mean, this poor kid is, I mean, I'm sure with like the similar background, like their personal struggles, they have that connection. But I very much felt like there was a layer of Tory doing Sensei Kreese's bidding. So can you kind of get into that?
Yeah, I felt the same exact way. You know, I think Tory does see some of herself in Robby, and also is telling him, you know, no one else has looked out for us. We have more in common than you think. Like, you've been talking to Sam, but I think, you know, you and I get what you're going through, and vice versa. Like, we're the ones who ended up having to pay the price. He's the one who ended up in juvie, and I feel like everyone was involved in the fight, even though, you know, Tory started it. But I do think everyone played a part in it. And so I do think that, you know, Tory is leading him to the dark side and dragging him in, just like Kreese has done to Tory. And it's easy when you have no one there for you to just get brainwashed and get pulled in. And I do think, you know, she is taking advantage of that, but I also do think she means what she says. And I mean, I guess Kreese does too. But I guess everyone thinks that they're the good guy in their own narrative, you know? So I think Tory thinks that, you know, she could be there for Robby, and that he would be a good asset for Cobra Kai. So I'm curious to see where the writers end up taking that whole storyline with Tory and Robby and Kreese. I really am.
Could start off as, you know, she partially was going there as, you know, for Kreese, and then something, I mean, they have so many things that are going on that are parallels here. I mean, so we have this moment where towards the end where Tory and Robby find out, I can't remember how, I just literally just watched it, but they find out that Sam and Miguel are working together. So you both look at each other like, those assholes. So you could tell that you both have like still feelings for the other, but I feel like, you know, could this also open up for a love connection?
I know. Well, I watched the season with my family when it came out, and I was watching that scene for the first time, and I thought, oh my God, like Kreese is totally playing us all in that scene. He's manipulating Tory and Robby to the extreme. I mean, you just see, I feel like you see them both snap. And that's why the whole Christmas party fight ensues and everything else, because Kreese is just toying with everyone. And yeah, so I'm curious to how, seeing Sam and Miguel back together, Tory and Robby, it's like, I'm curious how they'll react to that this next coming season. Clearly not well.
Yeah. But I think that, I mean, they could be like the ultimate like badass couple anyways, you know, and you never know why things happen either. And they have so much more in common, but again, like you guys still have feelings for these other characters. So we have to see how that goes. But I want to talk about Sensei Kreese. I know that we touched upon that a little bit. And since the round table, where remember I said that he was as scary to me as Freddy Krueger? I have since had a Zoom chat with him, and he's so lovely. He's such a great guy, but he does admit that that all that matters to him is Johnny. So with these kids being pawns, you guys are set up to kind of, you know, I mean, he enjoys playing this game where he's like the puppet master. But so, do you worry at all that like Tory could get hurt at the end of all of this, All Valley?
Yeah, I am worried. I mean, I guess I don't know about physically getting hurt, but I am worried about her emotionally, because if Kreese doesn't care about her and it's just for his own agenda that he's taking her in, and it's all selfish, then I do get worried about her. And I get worried about her being led so astray and becoming this person who, I don't know, I feel like she's really easy to manipulate at this point in her life, especially like, I know that at that age in high school, you're so confused about who you are and what's going on. And if you have the wrong person guiding you, I mean, I do get worried. And I'm so emotionally invested in all of these characters. But I oddly really love, like when I watched this last season, Kreese is just so fun to watch. I think I was just laughing about how he just plays everyone and is playing up the, you know, the fact that he was in the military and he's a vet, and you know, he gets the restraining order first on Amanda, and I just think the whole thing is, I was dying. I'm like, this guy, he just keeps winning and getting away with it, and he's so evil. So he was making me laugh. And then when everyone calls him old man and grandpa and all these nicknames everyone has on the show.
Well, but the kids obviously love him. And I want to go to the scene where you guys all break into the zoo in order to please him. You guys steal a snake. I'm dying to know if those snakes were real.
Oh yeah, they were. We were at a science museum, and there was just snakes everywhere. Yeah, real snakes. Yeah, I'm not sure. I saw that scene with the pit, and I was curious how many snakes they had on set for that. But we always had like animal trainers coming in and real animals coming in for those scenes.
Yeah, I that was one of the questions that I had on my list for Marty, but then like we had so much to talk about, I ran out of time. So I'm like, oh wait, I'm gonna ask Peyton about the snakes because they were scary.
I know. Are you afraid of snakes?
I mean, not really, but I haven't really had that much time around them. I just feel like, I mean, I wouldn't like run away, but it's just kind of, they can.
I know.
Use certain snakes.
I know. I'm like, I would never. I would never write that scene for myself personally, but you know what? They did so fine.
Okay, I want to talk about this other scene where Tory finally sees Miguel. He's like in his little wheelchair, minding his own business, and all these feelings and things come up. Can you kind of talk about what happened there?
Yeah. The scene where Tory is reunited with Miguel for the first time since the school fight at the sushi restaurant. It just happens to be Tory's working 3 different jobs, and she happens to be waiting on him and Johnny at their table. And I think when she first sees him, it's and they both see each other, it's pretty charged, and there's a lot that's happened. And then they're both, well, especially Tory, like she's just sort of stuck in her way of not even feeling as much remorse and guilt as I think she should. And the conversation just ends up becoming more of like, did you even like me? And were you just with me to make Sam jealous? Or what was the point of the whole thing? And I think there's still just a lot of anger there on Tory's end. And they're not really talking to each other, and it's so quick, and there really is just too much that has happened. But I did think it was interesting that, I look at him and I don't feel worse for seeing him the state he's in, that he is in the wheelchair, and it's because of the fight that I started. I thought it was interesting that I didn't feel more remorse during that, because personally I was like, wow, I definitely felt tears coming in my eyes during the scene, because I felt so bad. Even as Tory, I felt really bad.
Well, it felt like really the character is just dealing with a lot of things, and this was a very vulnerable moment where we see this season a lot of why she is the way she is. I can relate to where you're the tough girl on the outside, but on the inside you're like, oh, I have these things that make me feel so much. She says something like, everyone thinks I'm crazy, so if you think I'm crazy, then that's fine, because everybody thinks I'm crazy.
Exactly.
And it just really made me think of, we did learn, about her family life, but, was she bullied before? Or, what are the mental health issues that are there? I mean, so many of these kids that are trying to find where they belong have like these underlying mental health issues. And I think it's so important. I mean, this season we talked about the PTSD, and we're learning a lot through the Tory character. So what do you think about that angle for her?
Yeah, I do agree. I think there is mental health aspects, and I do think she's gone through some form of abuse and bullying, and there's just this wall up, because when you've been hurt so badly, you never want to feel that again, and you just put this wall up in these layers. And I do think that when you're unable to talk about things, and you're unable to have an outlet or anyone that's there for you, then yeah, you get defensive, and her defense mechanism is just, well, everyone thinks I'm crazy, so I don't really care. And you can just join them, even though she still has a love for him, and she just can't admit it because she's been hurt so consistently throughout her life. And yeah, I do think that having the conversations is important about mental health, but then also being able to see it through these characters, and be able to identify with them and realize, oh, maybe I'm not alone in this, and there's other people dealing with this, and being able to see it from look at characters struggling with it, I feel like it opens the conversations at home for everyone else. And yeah, I mean, I definitely think that there's a lot of that on the show. There's a lot of representation for, yeah.
Yeah, I was speaking to Jacob yesterday about that, specifically about how this is such a fun show, but at the heart of it, it talks about so many important issues, you know, for people who don't have family they can count on. These are friends come family, and then the importance of talking about bullying and mental health and just all the issues that just go through the process of karate, which
right.
But there's all these other things that are going on that.
Yeah, it's true. And bullying, I mean, I feel like that's throughout the entire show, and like from the first Karate Kid ever. I mean, bullying is such a big topic and a big issue. And I think yes, it's very dramatic with the karate, but I do think that they did a good job of modernizing and showing like what bullying is in 2020, and even with social media and everything else. And there's a lot for just even with online and being able to hide behind a screen, like it's a lot for people to have to deal with. And I feel like when I was in middle school, social media and everything was just sort of coming about, and it's really hard to deal with. I really don't know how kids keep themselves sane, and no wonder everyone's dealing with the mental health, with the issues that they are dealing with, with anxiety and depression, and it's at a all-time high, and no wonder, because it's a really hard thing to deal with, especially if you don't have someone to talk to about it and you're keeping it all inside. It's hard.
Well, that's what I mean when with people who are seeing you guys go through it, it will hopefully make it easier for a lot of people.
That's what I hope.
Open up about that. Okay, I want to talk about a theory that we have at the office, because I randomly sit around my house and come up with ideas of what's going on Cobra Kai. So this season, we had a lot of Karate Kid Part 2, and it's looking like going into next season with the All Valley big thing, it looks like Karate Kid 3. But then what comes after that is the next Karate Kid, which is, was played by Hilary Swank. And I feel very much that we are setting up for, the Samantha Tory rivalry. So what can you talk to me about that?
That's very interesting. I feel like you have thought about this and more than I have. Even your karate, I like the way you know exactly what movies are lining up with. And you know what? The creators, I feel like they don't tell me anything. And like about what's going on this season. I have read the first 2 scripts, but I really don't know. But that's the thing about them. I will say, like, whenever I get a script, it goes completely the opposite way of what I expected, and I feel like they're always throwing me off. So, but I do think that the Sam and Tori rivalry is just gonna continue to build this next season, and especially leading up to the All Valley. Like, they're definitely going. I mean, they've got to be. I don't, obviously I haven't read it or anything, but they're going to face off. So I feel like that will be. I'm really excited. I'm so invested in this All Valley tournament.
Well, I have to imagine that that's going to be poetic mayhem for those of us, obviously, who are the old fans and all fans. And it really, for the longest, we were like, well, it has to end at 4, because I mean, that's All Valley. Where do we go from there? So that's why I was like, wait, if we move this now into the girls' rivalry, that would be perfect. So that's my guess. But we'll check in again in season 4 to see where that went, right?
I know. You and me both. I'm waiting. I'm dying to know. I really am.
Okay, really quick, we have a new podcast called What to Watch, Peyton List. What are you watching?
Oh, I just watched the latest season of The Crown. I was so invested in Princess Diana's storyline and her coming to the show. What else did I watch? Normal People on Hulu. If you guys need a good love story, that show is. Oh, I'm watching it for a second time, and I never do that. I also just watched Queen's Gambit. Love that. Yeah, those are my shows right now. I rewatch New Girl all the time.
Yeah, I know that all of you guys talk to each other, because Sholo and Jacob also.
They watch Normal People?
Yeah.
Oh, I talked to them about that. Yeah, I was so shocked that they watched it and loved it as much as I did. I was pretty proud of them for that.
It was their number one thing when I asked them what they were watching.
You know what's funny is, yeah, we all have very similar tastes. We all went and watched it on our own, but then came together and we're kind of like, did you guys watch it? That was the best show ever. I'm excited for the next season.
Okay, so before we wrap up, I wanted to see if anybody had any questions. Everyone's just really saying so beautiful, how much they love you, that they want to see more of Tory. But if we have any quick questions in here, happy to ask. And I mean, so is there, and for me in the meantime, is there anything that you, obviously not anything that you've read, but that you personally would like to see for Tory next?
Oh yes, I really want to see Tory find some peace and be able to make amends with some people, and that's my hope for her. I want her and Miguel to be friends again, and I want them to have a conversation. I would hope that she could get some space from Kreese and everything else, but these are my dreams. These are just my things I sit around thinking about how she could heal. I'm like, I wish she could get some help and have some help with taking care of her little brother and providing for her mom too. But
well, I have this dream because when I spoke to Marty, he mentioned that he would love to see a love story for Kreese. And I'm like, wait, well, maybe Tory's mom can get better. And then
can you imagine him being in the home, being in my house
with a little apron, like kind of setting up dinner, like, Tory, what do what's going on? That would
maybe
be.
if he found love, he could find some happiness and heal a little bit. I can't imagine him like. I can't imagine how intense he would be with Cobra. I would never be able to separate myself from Cobra Kai. It would just be 24/7 fighting.
The golden child. And I did wonder, what was his deal then with your landlord? Because I'm like, you don't beat up somebody and say they're never paying rent again. So is he paying the rent, Kreese?
I think he was saying, okay, that's what I was wondering too. I love how I don't even really know these things. In my head, I just thought he's saying, cut her some slack, give her a break, let her catch up. She's going to make the money and give it to you. So I figured that with working my 3 jobs, like ended up being able to pay it. Just maybe it was a little later than the landlord wanted and was kind of threatening me with. But I'm curious if he helped out a little bit with the money. But he just said it's taken care of.
Yeah.
When he threatened him. So I think he was just like, listen, that problem, you have a little bit more time. But I wonder, maybe you're right. Maybe he did pay a little bit of the rent, which he does have his moments, Kreese. He has his cute moments.
Which has been something that's been really cool. Again, we see when you're working on a film, you have to put so much into such a smaller amount of time, whereas you can explore these areas of TV shows. So discovering all these other layers of Kreese as an adult has been like a gift to me. He makes me laugh even now, which makes me terrified of him.
I know. I really loved getting to see his backstory and him in Vietnam this season. I thought that really, I feel like made me more patient and compassionate for his character. I loved that storyline.
Somebody's wondering if Kreese is Tory's dad.
Oh my God, what?
I actually think of that for like a split second. Could you imagine?
Wow. That would make so much sense, right? Why he looks out for her the way that he does.
Tory,
can you imagine?
Oh, father.
I wish, but I really don't think so.
With Robby, it's already turning Luke Skywalker very much. So I'm like, imagine.
Totally.
Okay, really quick again. I have Tanner on tomorrow. What should I ask him?
Ooh. Oh, you're asking me?
I asked everybody before whoever was the previous person. And Jacob had told me to tell, I mean, he couldn't remember, he didn't think that you would remember that he pranked you before. I hear there's a lot of pranking going on set.
Yes. Oh my gosh, the pranking. Oh, of course he said to ask that because he's the one who pranks everyone. Him and Sholo both, like they live together when we're in Atlanta, and I feel like they're just that duo is dangerous. But I think I was going to a fitting, and I was going to just go try and close for Tory for the next week's episode, and I went into the dressing room, and I just hear like a screaming and an attack, and it feels like such a vulnerable, like it feels like a place that would be safe because you're about to go change your clothes, and like I was just kind of in my mindset, and I hear screaming and an attack, and I just dropped all my bags and fell to the floor screaming, and it was Jacob. He was hiding and waiting for me in the fitting room so he could scare me.
You don't revert to karate?
Oh no! He has a video. I just fell on the floor. I go, oh, and just fell out of frame, but. Yeah, he is just always planning ahead, always planning how he can mess with someone that day. Like, he does not stop.
So, do you have any question for me to ask? Yeah.
Yes, I do. I want to know how he feels about joining Cobra Kai. I want to know if he's happy with that choice, or if he misses Miyagi-Do. If he's happy about coming to the dark side, if he likes to switch up.
Okay, perfect. Well, Peyton List, thank you so much for spending time with me.
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to season 4 so we can talk more about my theory.
Oh, you think way more into that. I really like talking to you about it because you're actually like a Karate Kid fan and everything else. So thank you for this. And it was good seeing you again.
You too. I hope you have a happy new year and that we see so much more.
Thank you. I'm excited. I'm excited for season 4.
Me too. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.